This tastes so similar to duck do.
What duck do?
This actually sounds so good. What's up everyone and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Welcome to some Forza Horizon 5 with a brand new car that they've added into the game. This, everyone, is the Super B. Or should I say, this boat is a Super B. It sounds so good. It changes gears really slowly. I love it. Oh, sorry, it's a 4-speed. My bad, my bad. It looks great. I love all of the old Dodges. They're so sick. Very, very cool. Now, the way to get this thing is you have to get yourself the 160 points. There you go. Pretty easy to get. I mean, I'm only on the winter season. I got it. I mean, as you can see, I didn't even max out any of the other what you call it, like seasons either, and I still managed to get this thing. It's very, very cool. I do really, really like it. I want to do stuff to this thing, obviously. I think that's the best way to break this car in. But I kind of feel like I want to keep the standard engine that's in this thing, because it sounds really, really good. So yeah, it's very boat-like. It floats a lot. It's nice to drive. It's very, very old school, and I love that about it. Don't really have a lot of power, I don't think, with this thing. Actually, let's have a quick look. What are we looking at for power-wise and all that? 425 horsepower, 665 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,551 kg, but it does not feel like it. It feels much slower than that. Than all of those stats that are on that list. But I think what we need to do with this thing is turn it into an absolute monster. But like I said, I want to keep the standard engine. I don't want to engine swap this thing. I feel like it'll be... We can even put a Viper engine in it. I love the flex though. The flex is very cool. But yeah, I definitely don't want to engine swap this thing. I feel like I'm going to absolutely ruin it if I do end up engine swapping it. However, I am down to supercharge it. Ooh, sounds good, actually. Supercharged. I'm also going to keep this rear wheel drive. Anything visually that we can change on it? That's disgusting. It's also disgusting. I don't know, man. The twin scoops with the Hemi written on the side, I think it just has to be like that. I even love the color of this thing. I think the color is so sick. Drag radials as well on it. They have to be. Massively wide tires as well on the back. I'm expecting this. Yeah. 345s on the rear end of this thing. The front I'm gonna keep standard, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna put like 275s. I think that the front are fine the way they are. Now for the wheels themselves, I want to go with something very American, very drag car-esque. Maybe not these. Something like this. These road racing wheels, they actually don't look that bad at all. We only have a lot of these like old school like muscle car style wheels. I feel like we should get a few more of those. Some Mickey Thompson stuff as well. Yeah, I feel like we should get a lot more of these wheels. These actually don't look that bad. Like chrome wheels, something that look good on these old cars. Oh, okay, here we go. I like all these. I actually think I'm gonna put these on. They just suit the car. And very period correct. I definitely don't want to change the wheel size either. I'm gonna leave it. What's it look like? Oh god. No, very period correct though. I'm not even gonna change the stance of it. I think it just looks good the way it does. It's just a super wide rear tires. Then I'm gonna modernize this thing by giving it a better transmission than the 4-speed that we have. And same with the diff. I'm gonna need to buy the diff there like that. Like, I want to drive this thing in a straight line, obviously, like drag race and stuff like that, but like it just feels like such a cruiser car, if that makes sense. Like, I just want to cruise around in this thing. I feel like it'll be like just such a much better car to do that with it. We could put drift suspension on it. I don't really like it with drift suspension, to be honest with you. I kind of want to keep the standard suspension on it. Just have it be like really floaty in that. It just looks... It looks hilarious. Alright, I'm gonna buy anti-roll bars, but we can adjust those anyway. Whenever we want, or however we want, pretty much. I'm gonna put a cage in it, because it just ends up looking good too. Didn't need to go back. Okay, and now... And now we start building off of this standard engine. we start going absolutely crazy. Our acceleration is at 10, apparently. And same with our launch. So this is already a stupidly fast car. Interesting stuff here, boys. Interesting stuff. That sounds good. That sounds very good. I could even try to kind of make this thing competitive, but then again I'd have to engine swap it, but I don't really want to do that. But this is pretty much how I wanted to build this thing. 768 horsepower. Very close to the top of A-Class, which I don't really care for. Like I said, I kind of want to just build this thing to go quick in a straight line, but I wanted to keep the standard engine just to see what that's like. And then the design as well. I want to have a look at some of the paints that are available for this thing. Standard paints, by the way. I knew it. I knew there was going to be so many different paints available for it, because all the American cars had so many different, like, especially like muscle cars like this. They had so many different paints for all their cars, and they are so sick. I love this thing. Orange looks good. The orange and black or orange and grey, very, very cool. Even this color looks good. The green. Oh man, I love all the paints on this thing. They look so good. I think I'm sticking with the purple, to be honest with you. I think the purple is just the cleanest out of the lot. It just looks good. Do something to the bonnet. I'm actually going to go and tint my windows, but just slightly. So there we go. Just do something like that. Okay. Let's drive this thing. I want to see what it's like. I've had people tell me not to backstop my cars anymore, which I don't really do that often. Like, I always just try to mess around with some cars and just have a look to see what they're like and all that. But I wanted to do just a nice clean build on this thing. There's nothing too crazy, just upgrade the power. Sounds good. Sounds good. It's leaning. It's definitely leaning. Kind of a mix between the supercharger one and the transmission as well. Sounds great. I actually really like it. It's a lot less floaty now since I upgraded the anti-roll bars, but obviously we can change those. I can soften them up as much as possible, and it'll be a big boat again. I wonder if this can wheelie, actually. That's the thing I was thinking about. I was like, what? Can we, like, build, like, some crazy build on this car and have it wheelie? I'll do it after this. But this just seems nice to drive. It seems like such a cool, like, cruiser car. It looks fantastic. I love old muscle cars, especially old Dodges. So sick. Did they, like, up the... Did they up the amount of, AI there are on the roads? It feels so much more dense than before. This goes in an SL. Bro, I'm not even maxed out on this thing. You need to relax yourself. It really goes slowly. It really goes slowly. When I'm trying to, like, steer in some random direction, it's really slow. It's the drag tires. They have no grip when I'm trying to, like, turn it. Absolutely nothing. I'm steering off to the left to try and go around it. Nothing at all. Alright, cool. It's fun. If I was to, like, keep this car the way it is, I'd love it. But obviously, since this is a video, I need to try the extremes. I need to try and give it the best about the power, the most about the power, or whatever. And like I said, I want to get this thing to wheelie. I want to see if it's possible to wheelie this car. We can't really do anything else. Oh my god, this engine's so light. I just noticed. What the hell? I just noticed how light it is. It brought our weight down by almost 100 kilos just by installing this racing engine. That's crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wheelie this thing. Maybe I need to change my suspension setup as well for it. We'll see. We'll see. Because like I said, this thing should have a lot of power and it has a lot of rear grip. It kind of wants to. The launch control just doesn't let it. Oof. It hops a little bit. It does hop a little bit. Yeah, it needs a whole load of other things to be able to wheelie. All right, so give me 1 sec. Let me buy some parts. Let me buy. What am I doing? I'm going to the wrong thing the entire time. I'm gonna buy some off-road suspension because they have a lot of travel, and I'm going to probably get rid of this cage. Right? No, actually, the cage makes a more rear bias, but it makes it lighter though. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what I want to do. Okay. The tires are there. I need to build this transmission properly as well, so it actually has the torque in first to put down onto the ground instead of having way too much torque in first. Man, this thing launches hard though. I actually don't think I can get this thing to wheelie, unfortunately. Maybe if I bounce it like forward and backwards, but that's about it. Like I can kind of do a little bit of that, but the back end seems like there's something there to stop it from wheeling. I don't know if it's just a model of the car hitting off the ground or something, but like I can get like just the tiniest wheelie. I can just the tiniest little wheelie with it. And it's only if I bounce up and down like this. But you can see there are some stages where the back end just hits off the ground and I just won't let it wheelie. However, I've noticed look at the acceleration of it. The acceleration of this thing is actually very good. What if I build this thing to actually race with it? Alright, here's my first attempt at it. The very, very first run. I haven't actually tested it out or anything, but let's just do one quick run with it. I'm actually going to do a manual with clutch as well. With the first attempt. I don't even know if my gear ratios are correct, but... sorry. But, yeah. Just try it anyway. Well, it's very slow as a drag car. I thought it was gonna be so much faster. Why are the gear ratios so like? No, sorry, not the gear ratios. Why is the clutch so bad? No, the clutch is upgraded on this car. Look how slow it's changing gears. I don't know. It's just very awkward. It just doesn't drive fast at all. It's actually very slow. That's kind of surprising. What's the setup on the Holden that I'm driving now? That's also A-class. Like I'm look at it. I wonder what the whole setup on the Holden is. Was that just worse tires and better acceleration, or what's good with it? I don't even know, to be honest with you. Let me have a quick look and see what the stats are for it. Oh yeah, it's got a lot more power. Oh, what? Wait, so it's allowed to have so much more power? Why? It's allowed to have so much more power compared to this. I don't know, this car automatically just brings it up into S1 as soon as I give it a better engine. I don't know, it just feels really strange. Those stats just don't compute in my head. What? So I put the Viper engine in this thing, because if I was gonna go put anything else in it, which I'm pretty sure this is the engine that's in that, look at it. It's already up in S1. Like, and I can't do anything else to this thing to bring it down from S1. Okay, yeah, this doesn't compute in my head. How do these stats make sense compared to the Holden? Right, look at that. And that's in A-class. How does that make any sense? Chat? Comments? Guys? How did those stats add up to this being the same class as that Holden? I don't think they've done something correctly here. I think they've done something very, very wrong here. I had to bring my tires on the rear back down to the original width. I don't really know how I feel about that. I really want to see what the difference is now between this engine and the Viper engine that we had, or whatever it was that we had before. That just makes no sense to me. How is the Holden? Because the Holden weighs less and it has the same amount of power. And it's A-Class. This engine's much better with this transmission though, but it's still really slow. It's like a second faster though. It's literally a second faster, but it's still incredibly slow. Also, that launch was terrible. I did mess with my gear ratios a little bit. I took launch control off and I changed my gear ratios slightly. Let's see if this works. Oh my god. There's so much slip with these tires. Yeah, there's just no chance this is gonna go anywhere near any of the other scores. Yeah, this is bad. It's bad for the stats that it's giving me. Like, that's very surprising. Is it though? I'm trying to think. Is it actually surprising? Because over the past like few weeks that we've had, like the Mustang and the Pontiac, they were terrible. The only good car that we've had so far this series was the GR86. And that was actually quite good to drive, but the stats on this thing again just don't seem to make sense. And I don't even know what else to say about it. And you can see it, especially comparing it to the stats of the Holden, right? So 1500, 1493, 1392 kilos, right? And we go over to the Holden. This thing, 1500, 1493, but it weighs significantly less. And it's still not even maxed out at A-Class. It's at 799. It's got more grip off the line. It's just a much better car. And it can't be like my gear ratios or something stupid like that, because it's just the stats themselves just don't make sense to me. It's weird. It is very, very weird that car... It's also rear-wheel drive as well, just like this. It's very weird how this is just so much worse. Makes no sense at all. I should be able to drive this thing on like the oh god. Oh my god, it's so bad. I should be able to drive this thing when it was at like 1100 kilos or whatever it was, and then it should just basically dip into S1. But right now, it feels like it just doesn't belong in A-Class whatsoever. For whatever reason, it seems to go sideways really nicely though. It's got a drag tune on it and it's just going sideways like this. What? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's gone. Like, for a cruising car, I love it. I think it's very, very cool. But it has to be with the stock engine. It has to be with the standard engine. It can't be with this one here. But I love the way it looks though. I think it's such a cool car. But I'm kind of disappointed though with the performance of it. I don't know. Maybe you guys have built it for something else. Maybe you built it for racing. Maybe you built it for drifting and it's quite good. Because this does have all that stuff. Racing suspension, transmission, and all that sort of stuff. And even the tires as well. You have the slick tires. You have every other tire and even the drift suspension. So if you build it for anything else, let me know if you've built it for something interesting. But for right now, for drag racing, which is kind of what I wanted to build this thing for initially, doesn't seem to be very good, and the stats don't seem to match up with the rest of the cars that were in this game, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'm not really that surprised, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for watching, everyone. This was the Dodge Super B. I love the car itself, but it's just disappointed in its performance. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Peace out.